The emotions of Oklahoma today after last week.
Oh, don't do it, Texas. Lining up for the game-winning field goal last week. Mental mistakes down the stretch for Texas really cost them. Baylor, big bounce back. You saw Charlie Brewer having a lot of success early in the game running the football. Big shots to Mims. They got to find this connection more consistently because we know the Baylor defense is always going to be good.
All right, Kirk mentioned that big comeback that Oklahoma had against Baylor. There's a really good chance that we're going to see those two rematch in the Big 12 championship game. OU can clinch a berth with a win against TCU or a Mountaineer victory. Baylor, they just have to beat Texas to get it done, and Baylor's favored again against Texas. So, but, you know, Bear mentioned this earlier about the hangover effect. I think that perfect antidote in the Big 12 is to play Texas, especially if you're one of the in-state schools, Kirk.
Yeah, and I think the timing of this game for Baylor is significant, coming off that disappointing loss. Should have seen that team walking off the field last week. But, you know, Charlie Brewer, his grandfather played at Texas.
Yep.
His dad played at Texas.
Yep.
And they didn't recruit him. I asked him last week, what's the one game? He's about to play Oklahoma. What's the one game you're most excited for? He just kind of smirked and said, you know, well, and that was next week's game.
When you're growing up and they tell you to fire that pigskin boy and you have a generational Texas family and you don't get recruited there, that can be tough emotionally. Now, granted, after last week, I don't know how much tougher emotionally it can get. I fell asleep. They were up 70 points or something like that. I wake up heartbroken that the Brazos belly flop couldn't bring a W to the Waco and Baylor Bears. I think the bounce-back game against Texas is going to be huge for them. I think Matt Rhule's going to have them going. Their entire facility is filled with 1-0 signs. Last week, they were 0-1. This week, they get right back into it. I think they walk in.
I think Brewer goes off, too.
And I think so, too. Mims is an animal.
Because it's Texas, they'll be up for it. But it's interesting. Last year, Texas beat Oklahoma. Last year, Texas beat Georgia. A lot of talk about Texas is back. You know when Texas is going to be back? When they stop messing around with random opponents that they should beat. 16 of their last 24 games have been decided by 7 points or less. Texas will show me they're back when they start beating people they should beat consistently and not flirting around with Kansas and Kansas State and every game being close. That's not what Texas should be.
Yeah, no one's talking about Texas being back except the Longhorns fans, and they're being hopeful. That's what that's all about. Baylor, I want to see if they can bounce back mentally from that 25-point lead, everything going your way, at home, undefeated, game days there, nationally televised game, and then you blow it to the Sooners. I don't know where they are mentally. If they're mentally strong enough to come back, I know it's Texas, in-state rivalry, I get that, but still, you got to go out there, put last week's game behind you, and perform, because Texas knows this is still a huge opportunity for the Longhorns.
Oklahoma better be careful today. That's the best defense in the Big 12 that they face. And also, we want to send out our best to Grant Calcaterra, the tight end from Oklahoma, is retiring from football due to concussion.